Hello and welcome to another Driven Catalyst live stream. I'm Riley, and today we are going to basically just be catching up. It is a fun Friday stream. I'm going to be out this afternoon at an appointment, so I'm trying to fit it in. But kind of I feel like there's a lot of stones not left unturned per se, but things that I feel like have progressed that I can just follow up on. We can chat about it. We'll have a chill Friday stream. For a moment though, let's have some commotion for this blazer I'm wearing. It's covered in patches, which is super fun. I made a joke in my morning meeting that I'm selling Girl Scout cookies because that's a little bit how I feel in this this blazer. It's not my own, it's a rental. So and this is my last month of having rental garb to wear, so I'm trying to make the most of it. I left my water bottle at home today, so I feel like I am on my last leg, doing my best to keep it moving, keep it pushing. But so earlier this week I talked about going over, was it yesterday? I was going over the content calendar and I talked through some of the unique organizational problems we have run into with just navigating having in-house and out-of-house content creation happening, and the way that organizing and keeping track of all of that has gone. So today we had a meeting and I felt like it went really well. Ramping up anything kind of takes time to get all ducks in a row and organized. But I feel like we had a good meeting and we were able to talk through the unique challenges we've run into and problem solve. A lot of times too, it was just a matter of verbalizing, hey, I've noticed this, can we work on this? And boom, boom, boom. There were solutions already in the works. People had already come up with ideas for things. So that's looking good. In my morning meeting, earlier this week, I said something about how I like to think about time, and it made me, I've talked a lot about my app idea that I've been working on the design for. And it came from my own unique need. And then as I was talking through it with my boss, we've run into we're wanting to make sure that there are versatile use cases for this before time and energy gets put into development. And so that's been a unique challenge. Not really. If I'm being honest, I think that was Friday autopilot speaking. It's not a unique challenge. You have to do this with every app. Make sure that you have versatile use cases for it, and just make sure it's worth the time and energy. And frankly, as much as I had personal stake in it, I kind of started to realize that I don't know that there would be as versatile use cases as I would hope. I've talked through friends that have similar challenges that I have faced and talked through so this is what I was needing. This is what I was wanting. These are the Reddit forums that I read that I feel like I have all these, this tangential evidence that there are people that this could be useful for. But it's so helpful to sit down with a friend and just chit chat and kind of be it's helpful to hear, oh, but I would forget to do this. And so then this wouldn't be helpful for me because this and this. And this is how I think having this app would actually play out. Because then that saves us from a lot of egg on our face with rolling out this app that so much time and energy has been put into, and it's just not functional. It may be functional for me and a couple freaks like me, but no one else. Obviously using the word freaks very lightheartedly. But so yeah. So then while that was happening, then I was in a meeting this morning for other UI stuff and talking through other problems, kind of made me realize a different application for the kind of app that I had been thinking about. And so I just started quickly jotting down notes. And so I'm going to take things in a different direction, try out a different idea, and then I'll have 2 meetings with my boss next week. We have, like I said, we have 2 little weekly tag ups, and we talked a bit about wanting to focus some more energy into talking through the logistics of this app. So I want to have a little bit more to show and talk through with maybe this new offshoot of my original app idea. It's what I mean by that, in terms of offshoot and like taking it in a different direction. It to me is the same app in that it's solving the same problem for me. But I, through talking to other people, realized I think I was painting in broad strokes, which was initially the idea. I felt like I needed something that was going to optimize the experience and the cataloging of my experience. I wanted to be able to paint in broad strokes. But you can't ideate a functional problem-solving app in broad strokes necessarily. You have to be able to approach it and think through it in a way that's logistically feasible. And I, after having just a lot of different conversations about it with people, friends, family, and my boss, I think I've realized the offshoots of the app that are more productive and will be more productive. And it's not totally unlike an app idea that one of my bosses came up with like a year or so ago that we all kind of unanimously liked the idea of and worked on it a bit, but everyone's been spread thin and it kind of never saw the light of day development-wise. But it is one that comes up in meetings a lot. Everyone really likes that idea. I feel like I married those two ideas together, like my idea and then that idea that has been in the works and we've been talking about for a year now. I feel like the middle ground between the two is at this point what I feel like is going to be the optimal functional productivity planning app that helps streamline the process for people that need help building structure for themselves. It's important to me personally that we find a way to do it without AI, or with very bare bones machine learning or whatever. This is where my wheelhouse becomes a unicycle house. I don't have the wheels. So this is when I start talking to the developers and saying, okay, well, this is important. And I feel like our user base, the people that will like this, are going to have concerns about this and this and this. And so then that is going to alienate our audience and our user base. And so doing it in a way that makes sense, both on the front end and the back end for the user base, making sure that that the right priorities are being prioritized. I know that's like a whole bunch of like circular talking and sounds like I'm selling you snake oil. But it is important, you know what I mean? For example, like if you're worried about if you're making an app that helps people recycle, because the idea is to work on your carbon footprint and such in the world, it doesn't make sense to be running AI to help optimize, okay, well, go to this recycling facility or make sure you collect this time and make sure this, you know what I mean? You don't want to be running an AI chatbot that helps you understand which tin cans you need to remove the label from or not. That's like totally going to alienate your user base. They are downloading your app because they have this value. And if the value isn't a through line, then it's like, well, then what's the point, right? So making sure that there's things like that are cohesive is what I'm trying to say. I feel like I said it in like a very roundabout, weird way, and it got convoluted, and then it sounded like I was just talking and using jargon. And I don't know if y'all have ever read an AI-generated LinkedIn post. But there's a lot of them out there for you to read, and they're all punctuated with emojis, and they all will make your eyes roll into the back of your head. Oops. But yeah, I'm not trying to sound like that in my real day-to-day life. I feel like I started using all the buzzwords like optimize and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh, it sounds like I'm selling snake oil. Let me just boil it down for a second and try to give examples for what I mean. But yeah, so I guess that's my follow up on the different things. It was a good content meeting for our Hack Arcade team, and I, with my own efforts to wireframe and ideate a new app idea, I feel like I've come up with better ideas, which is always good and fun to be keeping it moving. I guess I can follow up because I mentioned in passing that I had a random sketch idea come up, and I thought, okay, well, maybe this fits Almost Funny Enough. And so I grabbed our camera and shot some footage. I rapid fire edited it, and I do feel like the editing and the style fits Almost Funny Enough. I feel like the content itself doesn't necessarily fit. I just kind of already don't feel like this is something that I'm going to pitch and show. But it does it makes me want to really hunker down and sit down and be more intentional about thinking through content generation in that realm. I feel like I have been closed off to that form of content generation. I haven't known how it would play. And this is something we've talked about a lot. And when we were having our big brand identity conversations, I was like, well, but what is the thing? Because if it kind of at a certain point doesn't matter what your someone's got to sell car insurance. That's a bad example because we could live in a world where, I don't know, without that necessary, I don't know. But someone's got to sell it, right? At the end of the day, it doesn't matter how unfun and exciting and aggravating car insurance might be. Someone has to be making it, right? So at the end of the day, it doesn't matter how big or booming or relevant or topical or Gen Z related your idea is. If that's the thing, that's the thing. And picking the thing and running with the thing, committing to the thing, making branding fit and all of that. You know what I mean? You can't put the cart before the horse. You can't put the marketing and return on investment before knowing what the thing is. We've had times where I felt okay, but I want to make sure I understand the thing, the main point. And I think I have felt reserved about the main thing being such scripted content, longer form scripted content, just because that has not been something that I have felt equipped to really start churning out without help, without support. And I feel like I really liked that my brain was working that way again, coming up with that idea on, was it Wednesday? And so that kind of was a moment where I was like, well, I don't know that this is the right idea to be bringing to my bosses and pitching, but I do appreciate that my brain is working in that way again. And I want to really support that thinking and make time and ideate and permutate different concepts. I obviously have mentioned and talked about it a lot that I have a background in improv. So sketch work it's no stranger to me. But I have previously had such a wallop to it because I didn't know how it was going to play. And at that point I was beating my head up against the wall that was TikTok, short form content, and needing it to play right in that setting. That just it was next to impossible to think about coming up with content that was going to play right on short form platforms. And so I'm ready to eat that, take steps back, and try something new. have fun with something new and give it a fighting chance. So, yeah, that's my little Friday soapbox. I gotta log off because I'm about to have another meeting, but I hope you're having a great Friday. Hope you have a very fun, safe weekend. Hope the weather is fun wherever you're at. Hope you're staying safe from the pollen. And, yeah, have a great